Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're doing something a little unusual. We're not digging into, say, global economics or, ancient texts. Instead, we're deep diving into what looks like a technical spec sheet, but for cooking. Our source today is this really detailed blueprint for a simple recipe video. It's titled Simple Baked Macaroni 45 Minutes at 375 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it sounds maybe a bit basic on the surface, doesn't it? But
Kinda.
honestly, there's a lot here. We're treating this less like just a recipe and more like a system, one that's optimized for speed and crucially a predictable result.
Right, so the mission is to figure out the engineering behind it, the specific choices.
Exactly. Why that temperature? Why that exact timing? Why the steps in that order?
Hmm.
It's all geared towards making sure this dish, which serves, what, 4 to 6 people,
Number 6, yeah.
that it comes out perfectly consistent every single time.
It's tagged easy. The blueprint claims, let's see, about 55 minutes total time, which is mostly hands-off, right? Only 10 minutes prep, then 45 minutes in the oven.
Precisely. It's sort of designed for maximum comfort food reward with minimal actual effort, especially in a weeknight.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Starting with, I guess, the basic structure, the steps and the ingredients that make it so efficient.
Well, the first thing you notice is how streamlined it is. It's almost like code. The blueprint really highlights 5 core actions: boil, sauce, cheese, foil, bake. That's it.
Boil, sauce, cheese, foil, bake. Okay,
Yeah.
like a mantra?
Pretty much. It sets the rhythm. No room for confusion.
And the ingredients list seems to follow that same minimalist philosophy, very pantry-friendly.
Totally. You need 1 pound of elbow macaroni, standard stuff. And interestingly, just 1 can of pasta sauce.
And they give a size range for that, don't they?
Yeah, 15 to 24 ounces. Which is smart, actually. It means you don't have to hunt for one specific can size. Just ensures you've got enough liquid, which, as we'll see, is pretty critical for how this cooks.
Right. And then the cheese, 2 to 3 cups of shredded mozzarella.
And note the wording there.
Ah, yeah, I saw that. It says covered generously with the mozzarella. That sounds less like a suggestion and more like part of the design.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
That cheese layer isn't just for taste. It acts like a lid, helping trap moisture during the bake. Plus, well, melted cheese is good.
Can't argue with that. So everything else is kind of secondary.
Seems that way. Black pepper, dried oregano, they're listed as optional for seasoning after it's baked.
Yep.
So you're not messing around with a bunch of spices when you're just trying to get it into the oven quickly.
Makes sense. Keep the prep simple. What about tools?
Again, just the basics. Large pot, colander, that standard 9 by 13 inch baking dish, and aluminum foil. Essential.
But before any of that, there's one really crucial instruction right at the start. The oven.
Yes. Mandatory step. Preheat your oven to exactly 375 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 190 Celsius. That temperature isn't a guideline. It's like the foundation for the whole 45-minute timeline.
And that preheating is non-negotiable.
Absolutely. Skipping that or just starting it when you put the dish in, that throws everything off. You lose that initial heat blast, and your timing could be off by, 15, 20 minutes easily. Leads to inconsistent results. Bad news.
Okay, oven's preheating. Now let's talk about what seems like the most critical instruction in the whole blueprint. Cooking the pasta. It says very specifically, cook the macaroni until it's just shy of al dente.
Ah, yes. This is where the real culinary thinking is packed in. You see, most people, if they're just boiling pasta to eat right away, aim for perfect al dente, firm to the bite.
Right, so why undercook it here seems counterintuitive.
Because it's not finished cooking yet. The oven bake is part 2 of the cooking process. Think about it. That pasta is going to sit in hot sauce for 45 minutes. It needs to absorb liquid.
Ah, okay, so if it starts perfectly cooked.
It ends up as mush. Total
Yeah.
breakdown, guaranteed.
Yeah.
That slight undercooking, that just shy part, gives the pasta the structural integrity it needs to survive that long bake without falling apart. It needs to soak up the sauce and then be perfect.
That's actually quite clever. You're relying on the baking time and the sauce to finish the job.
Precisely. It's designed for that second stage.
Mm.
So once you nail that undercooking part, you drain it. Then the sauce step. The blueprint's actually a bit flexible here.
How so?
You can mix the pasta and sauce in the big pot you cooked it in, or just dump the drained pasta into the 9 by 13 dish and mix it there. Doesn't really matter where, as long as you add that whole can of sauce and stew it really well, coat every single piece. That's the
Just coating. Got it. And then comes the cheese and the foil. There's a specific tip here, isn't there? The foil strategy.
Yes, this is a great little detail. Okay, so the instruction is cover tightly with foil. Standard enough, keeps the steam in. But then there's this little gem. Lightly oil or spray the underside of the foil
Why?
so the cheese doesn't stick. Think about it. How many times have you made a casserole, covered it, and then when you peel the foil off?
Half the lovely melted cheese top comes with it.
Yeah.
Disaster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's infuriating. That simple spray creates a non-stick barrier, protects your generous cheese layer. Clean reveal.
That little tip alone shows someone who has actually made this kind of dish, wrote the instructions. They know the pain points.
Totally. It's a practical shortcut past the common kitchen frustration. Okay, so foil on, tightly sealed, and then the clock starts. Precisely 45 minutes at that preheated 375 degrees. No adjustments, no peeking. Set the timer and walk away.
45 minutes. Okay, now what about making it your own? Customization. Because even an easy dish needs a little flexibility, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And this blueprint seems built for it, actually.
Yeah.
As long as you respect those core rules we talked about, the pasta cook time, the temperature, the overall bake time, the easiest way to customize is with the finishing touches.
Right. There were two options mentioned for the end of the bake. First one is about getting that golden top.
Yeah, the classic look. If you want that bubbly brown mozzarella, the source says take the foil off for just the last 5 minutes of baking.
Only 5 minutes?
Yep. It needs that full 40 minutes covered to steam and cook through properly. Then, that last 5 minutes uncovered gives it direct heat just to brown the top. Take it off too early, you risk drying things out.
Okay, that makes sense. And the second finishing option was seasoning.
Right. Season after baking, black pepper, oregano, whatever you like.
Why after? Why not mix it in with the sauce?
Well, think about dried herbs especially. Their flavor comes from volatile oils. If you bake them under foil for 45 minutes in a steamy environment, a lot of that fresh aroma can kind of get lost or stewed. Sprinkling them on at the end while it's hot, get a much brighter, fresher flavor profile. Hits you right when you serve it.
Interesting. Okay, now something really practical for listeners. The make-ahead option.
Yeah.
This blueprint actually covers that.
Yeah, this is a big plus. You can assemble the whole thing, pasta, sauce, cheese fop, put it in the dish, cover it tightly with foil, and stick it in the fridge for up to a day.
That's super helpful for meal prep. Get the messy part done ahead of time.
Totally. Prep it the night before, come home, slide it into the preheated oven. Dinner's basically done. However, there's a critical adjustment needed if you do that.
Yes, the timing change. If it's starting cold, straight from the fridge.
You must add 5 to 10 minutes to the standard 45-minute bake time. It's not optional.
Wait, hang on. Why? Is the fridge that cold? I mean, couldn't you just, take it out of the fridge maybe 10, 15 minutes before baking to let it warm up a bit?
You'd think so, but actually no. It doesn't work like that with something this dense. A big, cold, heavy 9x13 casserole holds onto its chill really well. 10 or 15 minutes on the counter barely touches the internal temperature. You'd need hours for it to get near room temp, and honestly, that's not great from a food safety perspective either.
Okay, so the extra 5 or 10 minutes isn't about the oven struggling. It's about the food needing extra time to heat through from fridge temp.
Exactly. The oven's pumping out 375 degrees, but first it has to overcome the cold mass of the food.
Yeah.
It needs that extra time just to get the center of the casserole up to cooking temperature before the main 45-minute cooking absorption process can really kick in properly.
So if you skip that extra time,
You risk ending up with pasta that's still a bit hard or chalky in the middle, and maybe the sauce seems watery because it hasn't had enough time at the right temperature to thicken and be absorbed correctly. It compromises the whole texture.
wow. Okay, that little detail about the starting temperature, that's maybe the most sophisticated bit of info here. It really underlines the precision needed.
It really does. It's all about controlling the variables.
All right, let's get to the fun part, though. The variations. Adding stuff in. The blueprint gives options for that too, right? Before the cheese layer.
Yep. This is where you can get creative without messing up the basic mechanics. You can stir in cooked meats, things like ground beef, or maybe some cooked Italian sausage.
Yeah, veggies.
Sure. Sautéed ones work best, so they don't release too much extra water. Think bell peppers, onions, mushrooms, maybe some wilted spinach. Because they're already cooked, they just integrate into the mix without really changing the bake time or moisture levels.
And there was one more specific addition mentioned for texture. Something creamy.
Ah, yes. The ricotta layer. For a richer dish, it suggests adding a layer of ricotta cheese under the mozzarella.
How does that change things?
It adds a whole different dimension. You know how sometimes baked macs, especially just with sauce and moz, can get a bit, well, just saucy and maybe a little stringy? The ricotta adds this smooth, creamy, slightly tangy element throughout. It makes it feel richer, almost moving towards a lasagna kind of vibe, but obviously way less work, a simple upgrade.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive then, it seems the big takeaway from this baked macaroni blueprint is that its success really comes down to following a couple of key rules very strictly.
Absolutely. It's all about respecting the process.
Yeah.
Rule 1, nail that initial pasta cook. That just shy of al dente point is non-negotiable.
And rule 2, respect the timing and temperature, especially adjustment if you're starting cold. The thermal mass matters.
Exactly. Get those right, and the 5 simple steps: boil, sauce, cheese, foil, bake. Deliver a consistently great result with minimal fuss. It's beautifully efficient.
It really is a masterclass in getting a lot of comforting flavor for not a lot of complex work. We learn that efficiency here isn't about fancy techniques, it's about control. Precise timing, precise temperature.
Spot on. And it's perfect for anyone learning or anyone just short on time. Maximum reward, minimum complexity if you follow the specs.
That point about adding the extra 5–10 minutes for a cold dish was genuinely insightful. It really hammered home how much the starting temperature of your ingredients can impact the outcome, not just the oven setting.
Which leads to a really interesting thought, doesn't it? Something for you, the listener, to maybe think about next time you're cooking. We always focus on the oven temp or the pan heat, but where else is the initial temperature of the ingredients a hidden key? Think about maybe baking bread. Does cold dough rise the same? Or searing a steak. Does a fridge cold steak sear as well as one that's rested? Making certain sauces. Considering that starting point, the physics of it all might just change how you approach even recipes you thought you knew inside out. It's often those unseen variables that make all the difference.